Hello, and welcome to Brand Clarity by Visions2images, where we focus on strategy and business development for entrepreneurs at all different levels through branding and digital marketing techniques. Susie Liberatore is the founder and art director of Visions2images Creative Services, LLC. For the last decade, she has personally been instrumental in bridging gaps between the global digital market and neighborhood locations for some of the biggest brands around. Growth is possible for even a single location with the right professional branding techniques and Susie's signature strategies of Visions2images. Stand out from your competitors and bring your visions to life while watching your sales skyrocket. Your host for this is Susie Liberatore, owner of Visions2images.
Hello, everybody. And today on the podcast, I want to talk to you about social media. Social media is such an interesting conversation with so many business owners. I actually just sat in a networking group where we kind of said the older generation might not need social media, whereas the younger generation is all about social media. Bottom line, your business needs social media. But the biggest questions that I always get about social media is, which platform should I be on? How often should I be posting? What should I be doing? What should I be posting? There's so many questions that people come to me about when it comes to social media. And the biggest thing I always tell people, first off, is don't try to be on every single platform. It's not good for your soul. And it's not good if you're not reaching your audience. We need your audience to convert and we need to educate them. So if they're not on the platform that you are using, then I recommend just not using it. I always tell people you have two really good platforms that you can use and abuse and take it from there. If you want to add on something else later on, you totally can. But the first thing I want to tell you guys is define your goals, right? So we really want to understand what is our goal of social media. And of course, people are going to say, I want new clients. I want new sales. I want it to convert. But beyond that, what do you want? Do you want to grow your audience? Do you want them to click more? Do you want them to purchase from you? Do you want to find new audiences? Do you want to retain the audience that you already have on your page? Do you want people to be able to engage? There's so many questions beyond, oh, I just want sales, right? So you have to you have to figure out what your audience want. You have to really think about how you can attract them and use it. That's why strategy is so important for anybody who is getting into the marketing, the digital marketing, the online space. So that's number one, what I recommend. Now, the other thing is identifying what channel your audience is using, right? So many times people say when they start off or they're in business, well, I want to do Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I want to do all of it. Maybe I should do TikTok. Maybe I should do Snapchat. First of all, give yourself a break for 1 second. There's so much out there that you're going to get overwhelmed and then your audience is going to get overwhelmed. So what I always tell people, like I said at the beginning, is pick where your audience is. You have to be able to identify who your audience is. And you might say, well, I want to reach people in Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, great. We need to know their age, what their interests are. We need to know male or female. We need to know where their audience is hanging out. Like, for example, you can kind of figure out who they're following right now and filter from there. All right. So then before we dive in about which platforms are best for people, let's talk about the type of content you typically want to create. So with content, people are hit or miss, right? We don't know what to post. We don't know how often to post. We don't know what we should be posting. We don't want to be salesy. All of these things people tell me every single time I'm on a strategy or a discovery call. But the truth is, we're on social media for a reason. Why are we on social media? To connect, educate, and purchase. Bottom line, your personal page is totally different and you're probably connected with friends and family, whereas the business end of things, people have those 3 needs. So what do I post and how often do I post? It's one of those things where you have to think again about your audience. If you haven't posted in ages, I don't recommend coming in and starting to post every single day. What I recommend is really doing at least 2 times a day and building up from there and letting yourself show up. Because if people see it, they're going to be like, where did this person come from? I didn't know they were still in business. And then it's going to bombard their newsfeed and probably turn them off. That's what I would say. So a lot of times I tell people to do an engagement post, not necessarily saying, hey, what's your favorite song? But rather saying, what is your goals for this week? Happy Monday. Do you agree with this? Whatever it is, like having that call to action with something about you. For example, let's talk about for my business specifically, right? So branding and marketing. So a lot of times I'll say stat, I'll put in a stat and then I'll say, do you agree with these stats? Or I'll say something like, do you think that your social media needs XYZ? Just asking those questions can really help with the engagement, which then the engagement converts to sales and more people start to see it organically rather than having to do paid ads. Some other specific examples, of course, are always blog posts. I do my podcast, testimonial, user-generated content, webinars and live streams, ebooks, white papers, photos, and videos. So all of those are quick little snaps of what you can do, right? Ebooks are a little bit tougher where we might want to put a snippet of what this ebook is about and what you're going to get and what's the benefit of it, and then add the link for them to sign up to purchase it or get it for free, whatever it might be.
Hey, let's stop for just 1 second during this podcast episode. I know you're so excited to get back and listen, but I wanted to chat with you and talk about how we really work with businesses. What we really do is we dive in and we ask so many questions. We go through a series of questionnaires and extensive research to really help you get a clear, identifiable plan of action that needs to happen for your business. If you want to hear more about this, go to visions2images.com, click the contact us button, and we will be happy to set up a time to chat more.
So again, you really want to focus on those ideas and really generate it the best way you can. So now let's talk about what platform is best for you. So Facebook is by far the largest, and it has over 2 billion monthly active users. So if we dive into some stats, there's 60% of whom are Americans. They're between 25 and 54. So that's the sweet age range, right? So if you want to target that age range, I would highly recommend Facebook. It's good for lead generation, and it can be highly targeted to very specific audiences. So that's one of the best things I love about Facebook as well, is when you do ads, you can target a specific audience. So Twitter, I think personally, Twitter is dead. Sorry, Twitter, if you're listening, but it is about breaking news, announcement, blogs, messaging, like all of that stuff. So it's under the age of 50. And I think 50 might be a little bit high. It's more of a great way for millennials and younger. So it's a way for them to easily see the context and reply. I mean, I'm sure we hear somebody was in a Twitter fight, all of that stuff. So it's more about conversation, and it's more about those breaking news, the announcements, important messages. It's really hard to build your audience personally on Twitter because there isn't as many avenues to do that. All right. So my favorite current one is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is typically the choice for B2B businesses, especially if your goal is lead generation, right? So this is ideal for editorial content, and it can help you establish your business. It can help you kind of show up as your best self and really show up who you are. So it's better than any other site because the users are between the ages of 30 to 59. And then there are some under 30 as well. So it's a little bit more direct in the age, whereas the other ones have a broader age range, but it also has that B2B and job capabilities on there. I love LinkedIn just because I target B2B, business to business, that is. And I love being able to connect with so many different business owners all over. And it's more business oriented, where Facebook is a little bit harder. Like, I can't connect with as many people on Facebook personally. If I want to grow my business page on Facebook, how do I grow that? So there's all of these other factors where LinkedIn is a great way to connect and keep that connection growing. Pinterest is almost like an SEO platform. And I have another podcast where we talked about some Pinterest that I will link as well. Images are the name of the game when it comes to Pinterest because it's SEO generated, right? So we really want to make sure all of our keywords, our meta tag, everything like that is going up so that you get the best results with Pinterest. Pinterest is great for bloggers and e-commerce. Anybody who's selling online, who has an audience or can establish an audience, Pinterest is great. Instagram is actually one of the things where I feel like it's more of a younger generation as well, and it's more visual and it's more engaging. The biggest thing I think that I love about Instagram is that you can post a story and then you can post it to your Facebook page or personal page as well, so that the story gets reused and repurposes over and over again. Instagram's age range is anywhere from 25 to about 40, I would say. And that age range is very broad, but it's that audience who wants to visualize and see things, but not really read as much, but wants to connect, if that makes sense. Instagram can do some great conversions, especially if it is for bloggers, anybody who really can share something with the audience. I still have my Instagram account. However, I don't utilize it as best as I can because I don't feel my audience is on there. I focus all of my attention on Facebook and LinkedIn because my audience grows from those two avenues. I deleted Twitter. I don't have a Twitter account for any of my businesses, and I don't have a Pinterest account for any of my businesses, simply just because of the fact it wasn't for my business. And I don't try to sugarcoat it and say, I do it just to have it up. No, guys, I don't want to waste time on platforms that are not for my audience. And that's the biggest thing I want you to take away today, is to understand that you don't have to be on every single platform, and you don't have to be posting on every single platform. If you want to have a personal Pinterest page, go for it. But your business doesn't need it if it doesn't fall in that criteria. As far as Snapchat and TikTok, I know some people are going to be asking about those as well. I personally don't care for either of those. That's just my professional opinion. And it's hard to grow and build a following on Snapchat and TikTok unless you're an influencer and you have thousands and thousands of followers. And a lot of times people will take their TikTok video or their Snapchat video and put it onto another platform. But those platforms don't really like when you bring in outside videos like that. They want you to create your own videos and post that static, organic video. For example, if you did a video, they want you to post that video on LinkedIn. They don't want it to link to YouTube. They don't want it to be linked to TikTok. They don't want any of that stuff. They want you to actually post it. So if you're interested in the video end of things, I recommend doing your own videos, editing it, and then repurposing it so you can keep reusing those videos and really get some engagement. Videos are popular and they are really taking off in 2021. And I know they're going to keep growing in 2022. It's just one of those ways where people can take in and digest information and they enjoy watching it. If you're going to be doing videos, you want to make sure that you have some type of personality that matches your brand. So your brand copy and your brand visuals all should be matching, as well as if you have a sarcastic sense of humor, if you don't have a sense of humor, if you're professional, like whatever your personality is in your business, it needs to be portrayed on all of those videos. So I hope you are able to take away a lot of information about social media. I'm always happy to chat and kind of help you and guide you along what decisions might be best for you going forward, what has worked in the past, what hasn't worked, and what is coming in the future. If you need help, feel free to get a quote below, and I would love to chat with you. 15 minutes, no fees associated with it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in on today's Brand Clarity episode with Susie Liberatore. 2 things. First and foremost, please, if you liked this episode, please subscribe and leave some positive reviews. Also, don't forget to sign up for Stop Sending Your Customers to the Competition and get my insider secrets to compelling branding that converts. You can find that at branding-bridge.com. It's a free workbook for you to check out right now. All of the branding techniques and strategies that I use for my paying clients.